with...
Good morning, friends, and welcome to a new vlog. We first have to appreciate the matcha this morning because you see that? You see how it's not bleeding? That is the perfect, absolutely most perfect preparation. So we are going to mix her together. We are going to get the joy of seeing it mix right here, right now. And we're also going to take our first sip together. This is exactly what dreams are made of. There is nothing better than a matcha first thing in the morning. Today is Sunday and I am so excited about today. I have been thinking about what I wanted to fill in my free Sunday with because I'm not working at all today. And I know I have to do some grocery shopping, some meal prep. I do have to do some housekeeping stuff, a little bit of laundry, tidy up around the apartment. Do need to fix a couple of things in the office as well as listening to a good audiobook as I do all of these things. And I figured maybe I could take you guys along. I recently put up a November monthly reset and you guys really seemed to love it, and you guys wanted to see more about how I organize my days, what I am eating currently given that I am seeing a dietitian now, and what my days kind of look like. So I thought maybe this could give you a closer insight and maybe we could just hang out for a couple of hours. I think I'm gonna title this something along the lines of Gentle Reads and Cozy Mornings because it is quite early. I literally woke up at 6 a.m. today, which I know sounds crazy for a Sunday, but I figured lots to do. We have to be very productive today, even if it's cozy, because I want to set myself up right for the week. Have to make sure that the fridge, the pantry, everything is looking in order. And I do want to start kind of like a soothing read today. I was maybe thinking something along the lines of The Cat Who Saved Books. Maybe this could be a nice little read today as I get a lot of stuff done. I do have the audiobook, so I can double up between reading physically and then listening to the audio as I'm doing all of my chores. So maybe that'll be the thing that we listen to today. I also have a little graphic novel pending with myself because I did say I was going to read that during the November monthly reset because I really wanted to kind of start out the month with that one, but then I got sidetracked with work, which was a lot more than what I was anticipating. So maybe we can read that one as well today. I'll show you it in a little bit. But for right now, we drink a matcha and we go grocery shopping because I did go to, I guess, our equivalent of Costco here in Panama to do a bunch of bulk buying because I needed to buy salmon and chicken, which is so much better to buy over there. It's a lot cheaper. So I did that and then collected a group of things that I still need to buy at the actual grocery store. I love that I still have the book on my hand, unnecessarily so, but I still need to get rice, veggies, other fruits. I need to get a ton of cleaning stuff, so figured I would take you with me and then we can chat about what it is that I got when I come back, because you guys did say you wanted to see maybe a little grocery haul. So it's not gonna happen in a monthly reset because I obviously didn't do it a couple of days ago, but it will happen today. But before we get started with today's video, I do have to give a massive shout out to Ana Luisa for partnering with me today, because if you guys know anything about me is that I've been partnering with them for 4 years now, and that is because I love their pieces, I love their mission, and they have made it very, very easy to access their very long-lasting, very beautiful pieces with no excessive markup so that you can build your own jewelry collection, have a little something that you can mix and match with your everyday clothes, whether you're very maximalist or you're very minimalist with the way that you dress, because there's something for everybody. They're currently hosting their Black Friday sale, which is their biggest sale of the year, with up to 30% off on their entire website, and they will gift you a free jewelry piece if you add up to $130 on your shopping cart. So it really doesn't get any better than that. And if you need some recommendations about what exactly to get, we're about to get into that. But do make sure to check out the QR code on screen so that you can head on over to their website or click the link at the top of the description to see everything that they've got to offer. And I'm about to show you exactly what I'm wearing. So as a perpetual scaredy cat to get their ear spears, what I ended up getting was the Percy hoop earrings because it gives the illusion that you're actually double pierced, which I love. It's got a little gemstone in the middle, which I do think dresses the ear quite nicely. And then their juniper necklace. I love dainty pieces like these that I can wear on their own, and again, they are small but they're beautiful, or things that I can stack on up with each other, because this with some of their longer necklace pieces can also look quite nicely. So with Ana Luisa, stacking is really where it's at. And you can also shop without guilt because they're fully committed to their sustainable practices, meaning, again, no excessive markups, no unnecessary mining. They have offset 100% of their carbon and water emissions, so it's all 100% neutral when it comes to their operations. And they also try to, as much as possible, use recycled materials, which is absolutely incredible. So again, I'll be leaving my QR code on screen so you guys can scan that, head on over to their website, or you can click the link at the top of the description to check their Black Friday sale out, because again, 30% off or $130 plus a free jewelry piece. Again, I don't think it gets any better than that. Show you guys because you guys were very interested in knowing as well in my last video what I'm getting these days when I'm going to the grocery store. So yesterday I did go bulk buying and I did get salmon, chicken, and tuna, which are a lot cheaper when bought in bulk. So I did get that. I prepped it yesterday. It's already pre-portioned in my freezer. I did get a couple of other things like blueberries and strawberries, which are also cheaper over there. So I'll show you all of those things later when the fridge is fully ready. But at the actual grocery store, what I'm getting is lots of eggs. So this is a 30-piece count of eggs. I got some shrimp, got 3 different kinds of meat, which I wasn't able to find yesterday. So I got 95.5 ground meat, which essentially means that it only has 5% fat in it. And then I got bistec de pulpa blanca, which I wouldn't know exactly how to translate that to English, but a cut of meat that I can make meat with like veggies and stuff. Then I got some apples, got some potatoes, sweet potatoes, kale, onions, did get some olives. I got a Caesar dressing. I got some dark chocolate, Parmesan cheese, mozzarella, national white cheese. I also got other veggies over here. So culantro, celery, ají dulce. Then we've got San Pellegrino ceros, olive oil, pesto, balsamic vinegar. Got some cat treats for yours truly, who is always very curious about what I'm getting at the grocery store. We've got some black beans, jasmine rice, almond milk, and then some whole wheat bread at the back. Hi, baby girl. And then, oh, also tea for my bedtime. And then I did get a couple snacks because, well, I'm not snacking so much. I do host quite a bit. So whenever people are feeling like having a little bite, this always comes in very handy, or if I'm having movie nights, stuff like this, which is pre-approved by my dietitian based on my needs at the moment, are very good. So sour cream and onion chips. We have got some plantain chips and then some popcorn, both white cheddar and real butter. So if you ever wonder what I'm getting at the grocery store, look something like this. And now comes my favorite part, which is to put all this in the fridge and the pantry. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but every single time I go to the grocery store, and this is what I look forward to the most. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna have breakfast, and then we're gonna prep a bunch of other things, and I'm gonna plop on my audiobook right now. So I'm gonna listen to The Cat Who Saved Books, in case you wanted to know. Breakfast has been had and now we come back to the kitchen. I'm gonna show you a little bit of how we organized everything. I've also been listening to the Cat Who Saved book, so I'll give you an update shortly. However, everything's been put away in the fridge and freezer. I did leave 2 meats out because I do have to cook one of them and then portion out the other because I'm not sure how many meals it'll end out. So I like putting them in bags with dates and detailing exactly what meal it'll be depending on how many ounces I can get out of it. So need to do that. I also need to cook some rice, some black beans, need to put some broccoli in the oven. And because I'm gonna have the oven on, I do think I might actually make some sweet potato as well, so that both of those two things can cook at the same time and I can have another carb that I can just heat up, especially because sweet potato takes so long to cook, so might as well just get it done today while all of that is cooking. I also have to make my bed. I have to tidy up the office. I have to switch out the batteries on all of the shelf lights. So I need to do that. So that'll be a part of our productivity this morning. So let me show you how this is looking. Fridge and freezer are looking a little bit like this. We do have these berries right here that I do have to wash. I have to cut the strawberries, have to put them all into their containers, but I kind of section everything off in ways that make sense to me. I also have to cut that watermelon, so that'll also be a part of the meal prep that we do today. But there's eggs, all of the drinks, milks, and then the yogurts at the back. These don't really fit in here, but I have them there for now. And then top shelf is fruit, which is why these will go up here as well as the watermelon once they're fully cleaned and cut. And then the bread goes on this shelf. And then for the freezer, I have all of my chickens ready to go. I left this specific tray full because I know that lasts me 2 meals, so I'll just defrost that and cook it, no problem. But the ones at the back are the ones I bulk bought yesterday, so have all of those sectioned into different meals. This is one of the ground meats I got earlier today. I have the rest of them down there because I am going to cook some ground meat, and then the other one I need to fillet and figure out how many meals again that'll end out. And then down here at the bottom I have all of my salmons, and then I have shrimp, so kind of like the seafood fish area. So there's that. And then at the top I have got all of the frozen broccoli because I run through it like crazy. And obviously bottom 2 shelves is just veggies. Good on the organization. Love the way that the fridge turned out. And then for the pantry, it's pretty straightforward. Snacks at the back, teas at the front, then crackers for when I'm eating tuna, and then things that I no longer eat, to be honest. Like I very rarely eat nuts. And then bars that I just didn't know what to do with. So I have them there in case at any point somebody comes over, they want a little something. So I have that to give them. But pantry's looking good too. But before we get cooking, I do want to tidy up the office and make my bed because I woke up a couple hours ago and have not done it yet. So let's get that done, and then we can come talk about the Cat Who Saved books because I am going to listen to a little bit more of it and then start cooking, which I'm really excited about because it's been about 2 weeks since I've done proper meal prep. I mean, I'm still eating at home, but I'm just cooking the meals as I go, which is so time consuming. So this week, because I know it'll be quite busy for me, meal prepping is gonna be the thing that saves me so much time. So we have got to get it done today. office is done. The bedroom is also done. The bed has been made. Living room has also been tidied. Now I just need to take care of the kitchen, some laundry. I need to wash some towels, and then we'll be done with all of the things that we need to do today. Oh wait, that's a lie, because I also have to deworm the cat. So I'm about to do that right after I update you on The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Natsukawa. I am really enjoying this, and I think the audiobook is making this even more enjoyable. We follow our main character Rintaro after he loses his grandfather, who not only raised him, but he lived with for a really long time. His granddad really shaped the way that his world looks, his love for books, and a lot of the wisdom that was passed down to him was directly passed down from his grandfather. So the two were very close, and his loss, which was very sudden, has affected his everyday life. He is dealing with grief and depression, and the everyday things that he used to do no longer seem appealing or even accessible to him. The people around him are concerned. There are family members stepping up to help him and to take care of him legally because he is not of age yet. However, even though that is the case, it's still a very hard time for Rintaro. And to top everything off, in the middle of dealing with his grief and figuring out what the next steps are after somebody passes, his granddad leaves his legacy to him. His secondhand bookshop that a lot of people cherish is now in his name, and he has no idea what to do with it. Obviously, as a secondhand bookshop, it doesn't really carry the newest, most current titles. Instead, it houses books that might be forgotten, classics, and things that have been passed down for generations. And although people in town really love the bookshop, Rintaro doesn't know what to do with this as a high schooler, which is where Tiger comes in, which is, as the title says, The Cat Who Saved Books. This is a space-bending, time-traveling cat who goes through different labyrinths in order to save books from neglectful owners. And now he'll enlist the help of Mr. Proprietor, Rintaro himself, in order to save books across space and time. At this point in time, I'm unsure if Tiger has any prior history with Rintaro's granddad and with the bookshop itself, or if this is the first time that this cat has enlisted somebody's help, specifically that of the Natsuki's family. So I'm really curious to see where that'll pan out, if at any point it is mentioned. But I really love that through this journey so far, Rintaro has been able to connect with his granddad in ways that otherwise he really wouldn't have. I can see this journey reinstating his sense of hope and also honoring the memory of his granddad and all of the lessons that he passed down to Rintaro, which I think is incredible. I also love seeing his wisdom as a high schooler who loves reading, and he doesn't love it for pretentious reasons. He doesn't love it to be cool. He likes it because not only does it remind him of a person that he loved, that he still loves despite losing him, but because he finds himself lost in books and enamored with words and the way that authors can weave together narratives and stories and lessons that really stick to the reader, and how despite it all, Rintaro is getting to meet people in these labyrinths, in these missions that seem to hold so much pretentiousness and an air of self-importance because they read, who seem to think they know everything about literature and about publishing and about owning books and reading. And so the way that he can still bring something up that they have not yet realized, that they have yet not seen, is really, really beautiful. I think it really highlights a message that a lot of people, specifically people who are older, like to disregard a lot, which is younger individuals can still hold so much wisdom despite not having lived the same amount of time, because it is not the amount of time spent living that dictates how knowledgeable or wise you are, but it's the experiences that you've gotten to live in a specific amount of time, and it is in no way, shape, or form tied to age. And I think that is showing up in the book a lot as well, which I really, really love. So far we are doing amazing with The Cat Who Saved Books. I will now transfer us over to, I love that I say that as if I'm transferring you to another call, but no, we're gonna go to the kitchen. I'm gonna toss in the towels, specifically the kitchen towels, because most of them are dirty. So I need to do that, toss in a couple bath towels as well, and then we'll get to doing the dishes before we even cook, because I have dishes from yesterday, because yes, it happens, especially in an ADHD household, anything can happen. And then we get to prep and cook, which I, again, I'm very excited for. So we'll go do that, keep listening to the bookie book, and I'll show you what I'm making. Guess whose AirPods ran out of battery, so I'm currently charging them because I have about an hour and 20 minutes left of the audiobook of The Cat Who Saved Books, and it's gotten progressively better seeing Rintaro break out of his shell and make friends and to go on these different adventures in the midst of his grief, so he has something to look forward to and people to talk to, has been so very good. So having a great time with the book. Alas, I do need to charge those before I can continue reading, so figured while I chop up some veggies, we can just chat a little bit, because I kind of touched on this topic in my monthly reset, and you guys were very lovely and encouraging in the comment section, and I've also been kind of dropping it in the lore in this video, but I have not actually fully talked about it. And by it, I mean going to a dietitian, which was granted so very intimidating. I, if you guys don't know, started really struggling with my eating, specifically in the realm of a binge eating disorder during the pandemic. I, at that point, had been very used to disorderly eating. I had yo-yo dieted for the majority of my life at that point, and I just didn't really have a healthy relationship with food. I never got taught how to eat, how to approach food in a way that didn't vilify certain food groups, certain meals, and it all exacerbated under the weight of the pandemic, being locked at home, and I hadn't yet tackled the most intimidating aspect of my eating disorder. I had already gone to therapy for it. I obviously was treating it in the outside world. I think I was very lucky that I was able to mitigate and control the binge aspect of it once I moved to my apartment. But I do know a lot of people have to seek outside bigger help, because it's really, really difficult to, maybe not for everybody, but I do think there's a certain level of difficulty in terms of healing the relationship with food and getting to a point where you can eat without overthinking where you're gonna fall on, whether you're gonna binge eat or restrict, or if the disorder looks like something different, so that that doesn't show up and there aren't relapses. And so I did the whole therapy portion of it. I am obviously very grateful for my therapist for helping me through all of it. I do think distance and moving to my own apartment helped a ton, but still what I hadn't fully admitted to myself, and even I think realized, was that even though I wasn't binge eating, I was still eating in a very disordered way. Oh my god, this is gonna burst. Ah, the rice, the rice. Please forgive my pot lid that has no handle, because all of them have broken. Anyways, the point is, I hadn't realized that I was very much still in a disorderly episode where I would eat at home really well and balanced. Thought I was eating the right portions. You know, I would go through periods of time where I could eat at home no problem, and then I would go through periods of time where I didn't want to cook anything. I just wanted to eat out, and I wanted to be very indulgent, and there was no balance struck between the two. And I think it took me a long time to realize that my brain very much exists in extremes, where it's I either go full force into, you know, binging as I have done in the past, and then full-fledged periods where I just restrict a lot. And I never really knew a healthy middle ground. It was even that way with working out. I would work out either twice a day or nothing at all. And I never really knew how to balance it all in a balanced, healthy way. And it all came to a head when I started realizing that it was taking a toll on my body, that back and forth between eating out so much and then eating at home. I would experience acid reflux all the time. Brain fog was a huge thing for me. And this was the thing that really, I think, did it for me. I would sometimes wake up in the middle of the night with bile on my throat, which sounds like a lot, but it was. And so I think it took me getting to a point where, although my blood levels were fine, the way that my body was feeling was not fine. I wasn't feeling good, which is why this year I was so in and out of uploading, because I wasn't doing great. And it took months, it took me even starting Taekwondo for me to get started into the realization that I was not really living in a balanced way. And I think something that a lot of people might not touch on when it comes to eating disorders and ED recovery is that it really does affect your entire life. It not only affects you as a person and the way that you view food and your relationship with food, but it affects the way that you sleep. It affects the way that you handle your everyday life. It obviously affects the relationships with your loved ones. What is true was that I realized that my entire life was in a state of disorder because of it, and I needed to kind of get the reins on that before I felt it was too late. So I made the decision to go to a dietitian about a little over a month ago, and honestly, it's been so good. I think my experience with her has been very eye-opening in terms of going to a professional that isn't highlighting all of the negative things. Because I mean, when I was younger, like, I've always swung into the heavier side. And I remember going to the pediatrician when I was younger and always getting the, you're obesity level 3 or obesity level 4. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean? Do you want to say nice things to me? And then that would be followed up by getting a lollipop, because things make sense, right? So I always grew up hearing all of the negative things that my body was presenting in terms of image, not even in terms of health. And to go to her and be told that my body is incredible and that my body is able to do incredible things, and that, you know, so many things look fine. You know, there are health concerns that we are tackling, but overall, my body is just, you know, it's that girl and it's doing amazing things. And I feel like that's worth acknowledging. And I was honestly quite shocked at hearing a professional say that, because it had never been my experience before. So, you know, we've been doing the thing for a little over a month now. It has significantly changed the way that my days look. It's been very time consuming. It's been mentally taxing at times. It's been challenging. I have had a very hectic month because of it, and relearning how to live a balanced, healthier lifestyle where I'm eating most of my meals at home and I'm cooking and meal prepping and getting reacquainted with the grocery store in ways that I haven't really shopped for a while now. And obviously incorporating and changing habits that were really not great for me, but I do really feel good about it all. And I think it took a long time, you know, if you quantify the amount of weeks, months, years that it took for me to get to a spot where I could mentally say, yes, I'm gonna do this, and I'm not gonna do it to please anybody else. I'm not gonna do it because of an expectation, but I'm gonna do it because I know I don't feel good. And I feel like that was the hardest thing to admit. The fact that I wasn't feeling good on an everyday basis, and that I needed to do something about it. And that, I think, confronting myself about it was the most difficult part. I did the whole beginning bit of it in hiding, where a lot of people didn't know, because I didn't want to really share because it felt so personal, and I didn't want people to take it as a oh hell yeah, it's finally time for you to get skinny, because that's definitely not the biggest reason why I am doing this, but I'm really enjoying the process, however taxing it might be at times, and I do think I have got a great support system right now that is helping me through it, and I think for that I am very grateful. And I don't want to cry, but I am really grateful about the way that this is coming about and the progress that we have seen, and the fact that my body has just been very responsive to it is something that I'm very grateful for as well. This past month, even though again taxing at times, I have felt the best that I have felt in likely years, which is fantastic. So I'm doing this and I wanted to share it with you guys because I did see a bunch of you guys mention in the monthly reset how helpful it is to you to see people talk about this, and I wanted to share a little bit more because honestly for me the journey was not linear, and for a lot of people it might not be. It is difficult, and I think it is even more difficult when the people around you don't really understand what is going on, and it's exhausting to have to explain it to people. I think in ways it also made me draw back from social media quite a bit this year with, you know, getting comments with people saying that I should work out and I should lose weight and what happened to me and why are you so fat now and why have you gained so much weight. And while all of it might have not been malicious, and I obviously can't expect everybody to know what's going on behind the scenes and the facts that I was struggling with an eating disorder for the longest time, because I can't assume that people watch all of my videos, I definitely do think there was an element of attempting to protect myself and not giving it any space to get worse by attempting to not be as online, because people feel very entitled to ask about things that they might not realize. And so that's why I also haven't shared a whole lot of it, because again, it is so very personal, and I think if you have gone through it, you understand how isolating it is, while at times that isolation is very intentional, and I think it's definitely a choice that we're making. It definitely is also isolating because it's an experience that a lot of people do not understand and cannot bring themselves to understand. So if you have anybody in your life who is going through something like this, who has remotely mentioned anything along these realms, just be so very patient and kind and give them space and do your own research. I feel like that's always the most exhausting with these kinds of things, is having to explain them to people over and over again. And I think if you can show up for people in the way that they need you to show up instead of ways that you think is right to show up, although at times, you know, it's kind of necessary to make interventions if it's necessary, I think that it is the best that you can do. And just be there for people and just allow them to share in their own time as well, because it goes a long way when you allow people to feel more comfortable instead of kind of pushing a button that doesn't need to be touched. So thought I'd share a little bit more of that in this video, since, you know, the whole thing is to be gentle and slow this morning. I thought I would allow myself the space to chat a bit about it because it's been really intimidating too. I appreciate you guys a lot, and if you're going through it, I feel you. It's not easy, it's not linear, it's painful, it requires a whole lot of therapy, and it is difficult, but it can be done. So I see y'all, I hear y'all, and I hope that we can all get better progressively, because I rarely see people talk about how difficult this shit is. It's really fucking hard. And now I can just say it was the onion that almost made me cry, because I've been chopping onions, and now I'm gonna chop up some other veggies and start on my black beans. But shout out goes to my team, to my dietitian, to my psychologist, to everybody in my life who has been immensely accommodating and just very respectful of what I have been going through, because you guys have progressively made this a lot easier to embark on, and I want to say that publicly. Take your flowers, take them all. I just finished The Cat Who Saved Books. It was so freaking good. I am so happy. Hold up, I'm gonna fetch a little container so that I can package all my ground meat, but I just finished the book. I'm so happy I read that today. It really did feel like the warmest hug. I just love translated fiction that talks about books and readers and our love for books in their purest form, and how books really are able to change people's lives, their perspectives, their way of seeing the world and life and other people, and how the book talks about empathy more than anything. How regardless of how terrible a situation might seem, it really is empathy that wins above it all. And I mean, I talk about it with people in my life. I talk about it with my friends, how empathy really is that thing that I think we're all collectively missing. I think online I see such a lack of empathy. In the world I see such a lack of it as well, and I think that the currency gets more and more strange to find, and it really does pain me because I think it would make things just a little bit easier overall. But I really loved this one. I know there's a sequel, or at least like a companion piece. I'm not sure how they're interconnected, but I know there's The Cat Who Saved Libraries, or The Library. I have to double check what the exact title is. All I know is I know there's something else in this world by the same author that I could read. So I'm gonna have to look into the title, see what it's about, and potentially get it, because I think the experience was lovely. Even getting that translator's note at the end about how they kept certain words and expressions in, how the gendered language is very different in Japanese. So even the cat's gender is like up to interpretation because it's not truly specified. And so I love even that aspect of added context, and even giving the translator the space to express why they made certain choices, I think is lovely. And Rintaro, honestly, what a beautiful character, what a beautiful guy, honestly. The way that he so purely loves books and that he wants to preserve them and spread their love and their message in ways that people don't necessarily consider or understand is truly so freaking beautiful, which is why we're here, right? We're all here because we love books, whatever the reasons might be, whatever the reasons are that we got into it. Point is that we love them and we cherish them, and we want to keep reading and keep experiencing things and understanding perspectives that we otherwise wouldn't be able to had it not been for literature. So the book is a 10 out of 10. I'm giving it 5 stars, which is such a great way to spend a Sunday, to be honest. And the audiobook is really short too. It's like 5 hours. So in the middle of me doing all of these things and tidying up and cooking and doing my laundry, I just listened to all of it. So that's fantastic too. Meat is cooked. I've already packed away my rice and the beans. The sweet potato is, should be finished. I'm about to grab a fork and see. And then the veggies should be ready as well, though I am going to sprinkle a little bit of balsamic vinegar on it so that they can roast for a little bit longer. And then after that, I am going to safely package everything away, and we'll be done with the meal prepping. Would you look at that? Sweet potatoes are done, and now I get to put these in a little container. Gonna put them right here. Hopefully they all fit. You know what they say about Arab and Latin grandmas knowing exactly what container to take so that it fits perfectly? We're about to see if we're right. I am neither a grandma, well, I am a mom. I did birth 2 cats, so maybe, maybe I'll get it right. Food is ready. I am ready to eat because I am so freaking hungry. And the graphic novel I've been hinting at, The Song for You and I by Kay O'Neill. I am so excited about this one. I got this maybe a month or 2 ago. Oh, it definitely was like 3 months ago. Oh my God. I got it back in August, I think. Anyways, really excited about this one. I loved the Tea Dragon Society when I read it by the same author, so we'll crack into this as I'm having lunchies, and hopefully I love it equally as much as that other series because that was amazing. I know I have been blessed by whatever gods out there, the reading gods, the universe, because not only have we had a really productive, amazing day with amazing reading, but it's raining right now. It's so dark outside. It definitely feels later than it is, but it lent out the perfect vibe for reading. I lit a candle, sat on the couch, great company, might I add. She's asleep, but that's great. And I read the entirety of A Song for You and I by Kay O'Neill. My nose is also stuffy, so you're gonna have to bear with that. I've been sick for like 2 weeks and I'm at the tail end of it, but sometimes this will still happen, which is a little bit annoying. So need to use my nasal spray to fix this situation, but you will get this at the end of the video. Unfortunately for me, hopefully still enjoyable for you. But A Song for You and I was so very adorable. I love that Kay O'Neill seamlessly weaves queerness into all of their narratives, and I love how there's a diversity of it too. You'll see sapphic couples, you'll see gay couples, you'll see non-binary characters, and I really do love the fact that all of these things show up consistently throughout all of their different books and narratives, and that it seems to be a big, strong sense of identity for them as an author, and that I really appreciate. In this one, we follow Rowan, who is a ranger. They are still training to be one, so they're embarking on different missions, different assignments, in order to recruit enough hours and experience to be able to carve their name into the stone that essentially gives you the full title of a ranger. Rowan, at the start of the graphic novel, is very much struggling with their identity. They are female presenting, female assigned at birth. So the entire graphic novel explores how they're presenting a specific way as they were born, but they do not necessarily identify not only with their name, but with that aspect of their identity. And so they're trying to figure out the best way to approach this and be honest about what they desire as a person outside of being a ranger. And in one of their many training sessions, Rowan is out there flying with their Pegasus, I think? I mean, it's a flying horse. It's gotta be a Pegasus. It's never explicitly said that it's that because they just call them a horse, but might as well just be a Pegasus. So they're out there flying. They're on their assignment when they meet Leon, I'm not quite sure, who is a shepherd. However, Leon is going through their own set of struggles. We know that they are very much in love with music. They have their fiddle. They love playing, but not publicly. And as part of their journey, they have to figure out how to pursue maybe music a little bit more seriously, more professionally, without that fear holding them back. And so these two meeting each other is a really great way for them to push each other into entering the most sincere, honest version of themselves, which I think is really beautiful. And they seem to accept each other without any explanations, without any pretext, in ways that they haven't really found with other people. So I think that in itself, in general, as far as what this graphic novel does, I think is really stunning. I was surprised to see how many actual panels there were with no dialogue, which I honestly quite enjoyed because it does have a lot of beautiful art in here. You guys would be no strangers. I love Kay O'Neill's illustration style. So this to me was like a little treat, to be honest, and I had a great time. It's simple, it's straightforward, but I think it works. So I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I don't think it's quite at the same level as the Tea Dragon Society, mostly because it is a standalone, but I did enjoy this a lot. I'm obviously keeping it on the shelves, and I'm so happy that I read this. 2 cozy reads on a Sunday, plus a lot of home productivity. What else could I ask for? And as the universe would have it, I am literally sitting here editing this video and I do not have an outro filmed. I don't know what happened what went down in my brain when I was filming this video and giving you that last update about A Song for You and I, but apparently I never said goodbye. I don't know if I was just planning on continuing the video throughout the day. I genuinely don't know what happened, but I am here to bid you guys farewell. I really enjoyed making this type of vlog where I kind of take you on a day in the life, and maybe we're choosing shorter books, maybe things that I can listen to as I'm doubling up on my productivity, and maybe showing you guys a little bit more of this very personal journey that I am going down on. Especially mornings where I'm calling for a lot of gentleness and where I am showing up for myself. Maybe recording these every once in a while is something that you guys could enjoy. So if you did enjoy this, let a girl know in the comments. If you would like more videos like these, also let a girl know down in the comments. And in general, let me know if you read any of the books that I read in this video, or how you're showing up for yourself, how you're taking care of yourself recently. Have there been any changes to your routine, and exactly what is this end of year looking like for you, or maybe even what New Year's resolutions you have that you are kind of plotting out now that we are entering basically December, because November is already over. I filmed this video 15 days ago, so it's been a hot second. Let a girl know all of those things down in the comments, and if you reach the very end, maybe we can leave some violin emojis. It's not a fiddle, but it's as close as we can probably get to it with the emoji section. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already for more content like this. And if you want more content from yours truly, I am currently hosting a readathon over on Patreon to tackle all of our end of year goals. So that'll be going on till the 15th of December. So we still have about 2 weeks, a little bit over left to kind of finish out those TBRs before the year is over. I am so very excited about all of the end of year stuff. I am not doing Bookmas this December, especially because I'm currently filming me reading the nominees for the Goodreads Choice Award, so that's taking up a lot of my time right now. I do need to pre-film some things, but I will be uploading very consistently and more than usual, definitely more than I have in the past couple of months, so you can look forward to that in December as well. But I digress to the main point. If you want to check Patreon out, it supports the channel a ton. You definitely don't have to, but outside of watching the videos, liking, engaging with the video in the comment section, if you ever want to pitch in a little extra, make this a little bit more of a sustainable endeavor, Patreon is always linked down below for you guys to check out. Once more, thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. Make sure to check out their Black Friday sale, again, for up to 30% off all over their website. And if you hit, again, that $130, that will add a free jewelry piece right onto your cart for you to enjoy. So make sure to click the link at the top of the description or scan the QR code on screen. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you on the next one, which I do think is going to be the Goodreads video, so get ready, because that will be coming to you very, very soon.